We're live, by the way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Night of Stand. I'm your host, Jay Daly. And here we are, everyone's live now together, okay? We're back in the room, all five of us.
Back in the room.
We're back in the room.
You know, I love the fact that Jay, you just said before this show, I'm on fire this evening, and then we start, and you just go.
I love that so much. Just the silence across the board, and Alex going, we're actually live. And it's like, and here we are.
Okay.
How many seconds?
Everybody chill the beans. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Beans are chilled.
Okay, listen. We beat Wolves 1-0. Nothing to get emotional about, okay? This week has been an absolute kaleidoscope of emotions. Last Sunday, we were all crestfallen after dropping points against Southampton. Thursday, we were in the depths of despair and we thought Ronaldo was going to go to City. Friday, we're on the greatest high I've experienced in this club, probably since we won the title back in 2013.
Yeah.
And today, for the first 79 minutes, it was sheer and utter frustration, guys. I suppose that's what happens when you play Wolves with 9 men. What do you expect? We 79 minutes of turgid football, apart from Paul Pogba literally acting like a quarterback and playing extremely well in midfield. David De Gea, double save, world class. I think David De Gea today puts to bed any debate about Henderson being the number one. And Mason Greenwood, listen today, guys, Mason Greenwood saves us. So, Kevin, I'll come to you first. We start today with 9 men. Why the hell was Dan James, who's literally a Mini Cooper, put in the wing to track against a tank that is Adama Traore, who had the right side on lockdown for the first half? Surely our manager could have seen this. And meanwhile, Mr. Van de Beek is still in the bench, while Fred, yet again, can't pass water.
I don't even know where to start and answer that. I really don't, because I think a lot of us coming into this game said if Van de Beek can't get a start today, considering McTominay's out, Matic was on the bench, Fred, and the longer this game went on today, you looked at Fred and thought, oh my God, I mean, he was just awful. For me, after about half an hour, I would have made a change and thought, I need to get him out of this team, because everything he breathes and just the uncertainty around him, his possession, his positional play is just awful. Listen, what I want to do is, I know you're touching on Dan James and that, and I would look and go, I think the thing we need to look at, it's been an emotional week, right? Cristiano Ronaldo is coming back to Manchester United, and that's a massive thing for Manchester United.
Say it again.
Yeah, still not sunk in. But there's so many. Listen, Varane, not played the first game for Manchester United today. Definitely an upgrade on Lindelof.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we all know that he looked
100%.
good in against Harry Maguire today. Other positives will be obviously Greenwood has now just scored his 3rd goal in 3 games this season. There is still people out there for some reason that don't rate Mason Greenwood, which is absolutely baffling.
Not naming names, are we, Ken?
Yeah, no, I won't mention any names. Ricky. Listen, we've got Rashford to come back. Cavani needs to get back into this team now and get fit. And I think that there is positives, but as a game, as it went on, I can't really spin it too much. Yes, we've just got this record for the away unbeaten thing. I said it the other week. I'm not too bothered about that because you don't get a trophy for it. It's different if you break that record and at the end of the season you're lifting the Premier League title. Hopefully we do. But as a game, listen, what I will say is I think there will be a lot of teams that go to Molineux this season that will struggle because they do play, decent football and they will come at you. So before it, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I was like, I want a really good performance from this game, over the result. But now we've got the 1-0 result. You have to look and I think, you know what? It's job done and we move on. And I think it's the pure fact of Ronaldo's coming next. Wait until he comes in. For me, that's the cat amongst the pigeons. That's when everybody else in this squad wakes up, looks at him and goes, 5 Ballon d'Ors, Champions League titles, born winner, leader. You know, he comes in and everybody else raises the game. The exact same as when Bruno Fernandes got Manchester United.
Kev, you're spot on there. What you said, calm on the pigeons. Like, imagine the first day Ronaldo rocks up in a dressing room. It's a case of, lads, show me your medals.
Yeah.
Now, apart from Varane, I know. Obviously, Pogba's got a World Cup winner's medal, and all credit to him. But you cannot put him in the same sentence as Ronaldo. And even in the post-match interview, Pogba himself said that Ronaldo, a legend, is coming back. So, for a player like Pogba to refer to Ronaldo as a legend, that speaks volumes of the respect that Pogba has for Ronaldo. I'm going to go to you next, Alex. As we're discussing Pogba, I don't know if any of you saw the post-match with our old Scouser buddy, and I use buddy very lightly, Mr. Souness. And he was saying, literally, that 50-50 wasn't 50-50, it was a foul, blah, 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 going off on one. That's coming from the same man that was in the middle of the field with Keane Dalglish for 10 years, kicking crap out of players. The agenda he has with Pogba is whimsical. Alex, today Paul Pogba's performance, I thought in the first half he looked out of sorts for me. But second half, once he got in the ball, he was putting around passes like a Tom Brady quarterback performance, I thought in the second half. What do you think, Alex, about Pogba today?
The shamelessness of that guy, that like not only like what he said, but he said that was a leg breaker, what he did. And to be fair, I can understand, like, in the past, like with VAR, how that would have been overturned. But I said the reason I think I said it last week on the show. The reason I'm not getting too angry about the Bruno thing is that I know that we'll get a 50-50 VAR challenge soon, and then that it will be overturned. And that's like the new way they're seeing it. But for Souness, of all people, how he used to play, to like he was going so overboard, saying it's an absolute disgrace. It was a leg breaker, blah blah blah. He grazed his shin pad. Okay, you can say it's a leg breaker if he hits him square on like that, and it's in the position that it could be a leg breaker. And if it hurt Neves that much, why did he wait like 5 seconds till he fell down? That's what they were talking about. Like during the game, it was such a delayed reaction. Then he saw it went into the danger zone, and that's why he suddenly fell down. But
and also overall, the fact that the referee is standing right in front of it. The referee is watching it in real time. So there's no need for VAR.
Exactly. And overall, in terms of the game, I thought that we set up the team thinking that it was like Nuno's Wolves, and this team. And I know that they've now got 3 losses in a row, and they haven't scored yet. But if you see how they played, and we saw today, they are like a completely different team. I said my mate's a Wolves season ticket holder. I was texting him throughout the game, and I was like, I bet you wish now you sacked Nuno sooner, because this new manager, how they played, I think they're top now for shots, top now for chances created and stuff. They're a completely different team. If like Adama Traore could finish, I said to my mate, if we created the chances that they did in this game with the finishes that we have in this team, we'd be like 6-0 up with the chances that they created. So like we've always played these Wolves teams and they've been completely like bore draws, or we scrape. I don't think we've ever beaten them by more than 1 goal, or if we lose again, it's more than 1 goal, and they've always been boring games. But that was a complete polar opposite, and I feel like...
Do you know what it is as well, right? We're on about Souness here, this Scouse, just an absolute knobhead anyway. Jamie Carragher, right? After De Gea, and I've not even touched on De Gea, that's why I want to just throw it out here now. If anyone even thinks that it is a battle between Henderson and De Gea as Manchester United's number 1, today just proves it. And you get this double save, which is a world-class double save. And then you've got Jamie Carragher going, oh, you've got to put that down as a bad miss. It's a bad miss, that. And I'm like, bad miss? I'm like, that is a world-class double save. That is what David De Gea does for Manchester United, why he still should be Manchester United's number 1.
I think on that subject, though, you get like these opportunities come up in football. Like the prime example of it is Marcus Rashford, when Martial got injured on Rashford's debut. He never would have got that debut, and you take that chance. Last season, it was between 50-50 who's going to be our number 1 with De Gea. So he had the stroke of luck with Dean Henderson being out, and so he had to literally take this chance. And he is looking like he is taking that chance. So it will be interesting. I don't think Dean Henderson, I think before, he might have potentially started the season as our number one. I don't think he can come in now and be our number one. So it could be back to him being in like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But then just before I finish, I just wanted to touch again on the major bright point from my position of the game was, I thought, Varane. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And like even if all his passes didn't come off, like the types of passes he was doing for a centre back, always looking these like long diagonals and stuff that, like I said, they didn't all come off, but they were brilliant, and like the blocks and stuff. And he just looks like a Rolls Royce of a defender.
Well, I think Alex, with the likes of Varane, it, like a centre back should never really be highlighted unless you're not playing well. So for the fact that like we kind of went, oh wait, he kind of did nothing wrong. There was a couple of really important interceptions he did, a couple of great tackles, and then you kind of go, he's a new signing, gets a debut, and like all you want from a centre back is just to have a nothing really game and a clean sheet. And I think he did it exceptionally with everything he brought to the game as well. So but absolutely.
The composure on the ball as well.
Yeah,
I just thought he was brilliant.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you.
Beth, I'll come to you next, actually, on Varane. For me, the key moment today with Varane, and to quote myself and Kevin's Ashford, my famous quote Kevin loves, I have it here in my notes. 50th minute, Varane saved a cross after Maguire was nutmegged by Trincao, and Varane just slips in, cool as you like, and Kevin with the notes. So what's your take today on Varane's performance, Beth?
I thought he was great today. I thought the thing is, we've seen Lindelof the last few games, and he's been all right. He's been pretty good, but Varane's just that next level, isn't he? Like next to Maguire, I just think they look so much more solid. When Wolves were counter-attacking, I was getting very worried. Obviously, I think we all were, what the chances that we're having. But the more the game went on, even though I still was very annoyed that the way we were playing, I kind of got more reassurance in the defence, and I think that did help with Varane being there. I thought Maguire played well as well. I think they both worked well together. I also thought he really improved Wan-Bissaka's game. I think Wan-Bissaka was a lot more playing the right back position rather than the third centre back that we've been seeing him move into a lot. So I do think he made a massive difference. I mean, he probably was thinking, what's going on here? Usually I'm used to Casemiro, now I've got Fred in front of me. But, I mean, he'll have to get used to that. But I did think he made a massive, massive impact to the defence. And I was even saying this is really harsh to say on Lindelof because you never know. I actually think without Varane in that side today that we could have conceded. And I know you can't say it, but that's just a little thing that I was thinking about because I just thought the defence looked so much more reassured, and it's made me so happy about that signing because that was a game where he really got everything thrown at him. That Wolves side coming at us and at us and at us, pressing and pressing and pressing. And for people saying he might not be able to deal with the Premier League, he might not be able to deal with the rough and tumble of the Premier League, I think he proved today that he can, and I think he's going to be a massive plus for us this season. And if we do go far to challenge, he'll be a massive reason why we will.
Beth, on that point, that's our first clean sheet in 11 games. Now, obviously, we've all seen it live in real time and we haven't watched it back. So, but for me, Varane was winning. I didn't see him lose any aerial duels today. Maybe he did on second watch, maybe he did, but for me, he won his aerial duels. And that's something that Lindelof cannot and does not do.
Yeah, that's
so even that alone makes us better.
Yeah, I agree. Like with Varane coming in, the amount of headers he was winning, it wasn't all on Maguire. It wasn't all on Maguire to get to every single ball, which usually it is doing. And not only can he win all the aerial duels, he's a lot quicker. So, and I feel like he covers space a lot better. The way he kind of holds off, I think he's got really good anticipation of when to actually make that challenge, because he would guide players out from the danger area and then make the challenge when he needed to do that. And I also thought in the attacking areas he looked quite bright as well. I know he didn't get on the end of anything, but I thought his movement was good. I thought his presence was there, and I just think he will be a massive influence for us, but we still need to sort our midfield out.
Yeah, definitely.
Joe, my stunt double from Kildare. I have to come to you next, sir.
Absolutely.
Joe and I have an upcoming movie. It's a bromance kind of road trip comedy. We're going to tour the rest of Ireland. I digress.
I can't wait.
Hey, Jay.
Actually, that would work. Let's pitch RT. That would actually work.
I think it will work. Look, Jay, if I could spend a couple of weeks with you in the West Ireland, that'd be a dream come true. All right.
Is it called Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, you know what it's called? It's called Expendables Part 5. Anyway, Joe, today, our new signing, Jadon Sancho. Well, I know a lot of fans. I briefly went on my Twitter feed, and some of the comments towards Sancho weren't, let's just say, complimentary. But we said at the start that Sancho's come from the Bundesliga to the Premiership. We cannot expect him to just come in day one and light it up. So he has to be given time. What's your take today on Sancho's performance?
Look, I can't compliment it because at the end of the day, there was no end product. He didn't really do much. He was quite invisible in the game, but I wasn't anyway concerned. I didn't fear for what was coming because, like we were saying, he's coming from a different system, different league, different everything, it'll take him a while. I think it's different for the likes of someone like Bruno, who's obviously come from Sporting Lisbon, but he's not just a creator but a finisher. So like he will get goals, he will get penalties, he will do what he has to do, and he will be an end product. But with Sancho, it's all about creating. It's all about finding the pass and finding the man. And he's just not there yet. But I'm not worried whatsoever. Like for me, he's a generational player. He will get there eventually. It could take 6 to 8 games to get there. But from what I saw today, I wasn't in any way concerned, because he was looking for the ball. He was trying to make stuff happen, but he just doesn't know the players yet. Maybe if Rashford was there, someone he's used to playing with in England, Greenwood, he hasn't played with that much in England, so they wouldn't have the same connection, that something different might happen. But like if you're a creative player or playmaker, it's going to take you a little while to find out when the runs are happening, when's everything happening. So I wasn't concerned whatsoever, but it wasn't the best performance, but it'll happen. Absolutely.
Kevin, I'll come to you next. It's just we have a new member of United Stand Members Club, Ruben Farusco and Hala. I'm looking here for some super chats, guys, because last week we missed so many super chats. It just wasn't funny. We missed so many. So, guys, if you super chats there, feel free to read them out. Kevin, you haven't, and I would agree with you, paid much credence to this 28-game unbeaten record, and I would agree. I don't either. There's no trophies for it. But this is Solskjaer's 100-game in charge, and he's had 53 wins in 100 games. So he almost goes on about fine margins. So the fine margins of our 0-0s and 1-1s, I would argue, Kevin, they become wins once Ronaldo steps in the pitch.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's the fact, the buzz of what's happened since Friday and the news that's broke. Look at the fans in the ground today. Prior to the game, Viva Ronaldo, just the atmosphere, everything, the uplift of Manchester United, just everything about it. And I spoke about it the other night on the show. I'm not bothered about figures and stuff. But at the same time, I couldn't understand at that stage when it looked like he was going to Manchester City, that Manchester United would not be involved in this conversation. Because figures-wise, it makes business sense. The fact that he's put 200 million on, overall value of Manchester United just after announcing that he signed for Manchester United is a huge, huge thing. And that's why I take this game today and I go, do you know what? It wasn't convincing. It's not, Manchester City yesterday blowing Arsenal out the water 5-0, where you're like, they've just done it back-to-back against Norwich. Yes, we want to get to that stage. But the big thing is, once Ronaldo walks into this team, I mean, listen, he's not the Ronaldo of 2009 when he left. Nowhere near it. But he has readapted his style every season, and very similar to what Ryan Giggs did at Manchester United. He will adapt, come into Manchester United. He's not going to be that flying winger that we remember when he left, but when he comes in now, what Ronaldo's got, and Roy Keane touched on it. Roy Keane said he's the most cleverest player he's ever played with. Ronaldo's got it up here. Yeah, he doesn't need to make them runs and be lively all the time. He will wait for that moment. And that's where we have to now look and go, well, we've got Jadon Sancho. Once he's up to speed, the likes of whoever else is going to be in and around him, Martial, Rashford, once Greenwood even, whoever is supplying Ronaldo, you have to build this team around him, if it's for 1 or 2 seasons.
There's a super chat here from Zar, and very simply, it says, Viva Ronaldo. So, guys, as we're discussing Ronaldo, I think we should take a few minutes to discuss obviously we fit Ronaldo as a striker, but how does that affect the formation? Obviously, back in the day, Ronaldo played in the old school 4-4-2 with Alex Ferguson, but football has moved on. We're not going to do a 4-4-2 with Cavani and Ronaldo up top. Beth, where do you see Ronaldo fit into this team and the likes of Bruno and Pogba playing behind him. Do you see Pogba playing as he did today in a conductor role in midfield, or will he go back out to the left? Thoughts, Beth?
I think he's going to stay in that position, especially when Rashford's back. I mean, it is a little bit of a shame because today one of the things I really did thought was we missed that link up between the midfield and the attack. Bruno was way too far forward. The attackers weren't really getting the ball that much. Pogba was quite deep in the first half, especially. Kind of got up the pitch a lot more in the second half, and it made a massive, massive difference. But I do think he's going to be put into that role purely because we have too much attacking talent up front that is going to be moved into that position. That's the only reason why he will go back into that role. And one of the things I did really like about Pogba today and the way he played, especially in the second half, is he has got that ability to conduct the play from the deep role. You could see it a lot of times with the passes that he was making, and he's just such a good player. He could play anywhere on the pitch and make a difference, but I do think he will be in that midfield. And for Ronaldo, I think it's centre forward every week. He starts every single game. Like, he's going to start every single game centre forward. It's Ronaldo. And Cavani is going to drop to the bench. It just is going to happen. I think Cavani's going to be like a super sub this season. I really, really do. Just because now we've got Ronaldo, he's going to be first choice. I don't even know if Cavani's going off with Uruguay. I think that's the rumour that's going to happen. And if he does, then we're not going to have him for half the season anyway, because he's going to have to isolate through the red list countries or whatever the process is. So thank God we did get Ronaldo. Because I think one thing we have seen since the start of the season is we need a target man. We need a centre forward. Green was great, but he's a very fluid striker. A proper centre forward like Ronaldo and Cavani being there is important. And the fact that we've got Ronaldo now, he's got to start every single game. And he will start every single game. He'll also be on penalties, I think, and every free kick going.
I hope not free kicks.
So
he's such an overrated free kick taker since he left United. Like, back in the 08 days, 09 days, he was class at free kicks. But since he left, if you actually look at his record, Bruno is a better free kick taker than him for sure.
He is. They'll probably share free kicks.
And I would even say Bruno is a better penalty taker as well. But it's just because they're both Portuguese. Yeah. He's going to bow down because he's obviously his idol.
And also the fact that Ronaldo does not share them for Portugal either, which means he's not going to share them for United. I don't care, because you know what the alternative is? It's not having Ronaldo. If he skies 50 free kicks, do you know what? I don't care, because he's at the club. Okay. We score 1 out of every 27 free kicks, maybe. Okay, let him have his ego boost. Let him do whatever he wants with them. I don't care. He's back at our club. It's fine with me.
I feel like because, like I just said, that they're both Portuguese, is that is like the only thing that stops it. Because otherwise, Bruno. Let's be fair. Bruno is like the big dog at United, isn't he? But then, because he's coming in now, his idol, like the one player in world football that can come in and overrule him, that he probably will bow down and do it. But I feel like Bruno is probably a better penalty taker than him now, and a better free kick taker.
Definitely.
There's no one
arguing that.
Alex,
I'll still accept Ronaldo taking them just for the Zoo celebration. So
Ronaldo, he takes it, just does.
Yeah,
exactly.
Alex, if you recall the chat we had on Instagram Live on Friday night, we said, imagine now you're a goalkeeper and you see both Ronaldo and Bruno standing over the ball. You're thinking, fuck me, who's taking this? So never again do I want to see Fred standing near a free kick for us. Get out of the way, just move.
Like for shoelaces, I'm honestly sick of it. Every time Fred stands there, I'm like, what is the point? Everyone knows you're not taking this. She's like, Bruno. He's just like, he's
it's just the pose of him standing over the free kick with the wide leg position that Ronaldo gets in before free kicks and stuff. It's just just so iconic that it doesn't matter if it hits the wall.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter because he's ours again.
Exactly. There's a comment here, guys, from Muhan Hassan. CR7 would change the team massively, but we can't be Vibes FC anymore. Yeah, I agree, because last season we used the phrase Moments FC because we focus on getting our best players to provide a moment of brilliance to get Ollie out of jail. Another one here from NT Cap 19. We've easily got our best squad post Fergie era. Get your tactics, put Guardiola in that team, and we win the league. Okay, fair point. Joe, I'm going to come back to you now. Today, there was one stand-up moment for me today with Paul Pogba. First half, guys, I don't know or read of it, but I thought Pogba got overrun in the first half because Wolves were pressing like rabid dogs, basically. And he had no help whatsoever from Fred. So first half, Pogba was ineffectual. Let's be fair, first half, most guys are ineffectual. The 57th minute, Pogba plays this lovely one-touch pass through for Bruno.
Yeah.
And I think after that, then Pogba grew in confidence and he was just pinging balls around, playing crossfield passes that Wolves didn't have much answer to. Our problem was we just did not create chances from these one-touch passes.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And I at that moment as well, I think he had an incredible ball to Bruno in the first half as well, but Bruno was offside where he scored, and we had to wait for the offside flag to go up. But I think players like Pogba who live off, feed off confidence, basically, like all of us. But if once he gets one thing right, one special moment, then it just changes the game for him. So once he had that, then suddenly he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually a really good player. I can do a few things here. And he really did. Do you know what I mean? Pogba, there was no doubt in my mind. Bruno has, opening game, absolutely. It's a toss-up between who was our best player there, but it's either Bruno or Pogba. But Pogba over the course of 3 games has been our best player for me, and there's no doubt about it. I think the first 45, we can say up to 57 minutes, like you said, Jay, on Pogba, probably he wasn't at his best, but when he gets those moments, when he has that spark, then you see what the player he is. So not his best game, but when that happens, he opens everything up, and he is always a threat. So obviously we'll say it's a bronze medal of performances he's had this season so far, but it's still a pretty high bronze medal. And I'm
Joe, I'll say this. I know you're not a massive fan of Donny van der Beek. I know you.
No, hold on.
No, listen,
hold on.
Wait. You said your comments the other week that whatever. There's a reason he's not in the team, and that, which is fair enough. But I would say at this moment now, right, looking at that game today, and you see Fred in that position, would you agree at some stage you would be like, well, there is no risk or anything now of taking Fred out of that team and playing Donny van der Beek in there and seeing what happens?
I think, okay, hold on. Okay, first of all, we won the game today and Fred played the 90 minutes, okay? There was no real massive issue aside from De Gea's wonderful save. I completely agree Fred was not the best player on that pitch today, but at the end of the day, we got the result that was needed, was 3 points. I'm not defending Fred. Okay?
He was the worst.
Hold on. The argument I'm making isn't that Fred should be there, but I'm not saying the fact that Donny should be the person that's going in there, okay?
Yeah.
We have barely, okay, that's what I'm trying to say, okay? I'm not saying Donny immediately goes in there and then suddenly, oh, wait, the problem fixed. I never said that Donny should be. I don't think I said my reasons properly what I was saying the other day, because I was getting massive hate about this, right? I'm not saying Donny isn't good enough, okay? But we have only seen maybe 6 seconds of Donny over the past, year and a half, whatever it's been since he signed. Maybe the reason is on the training field that he isn't doing what Solskjaer wants. If it's a change of manager, okay, I'm not saying I want to change of manager, then suddenly Donny has a position in there. But for what Solskjaer wants to play, Donny isn't doing what he wants. So clearly, Fred is a better option than Donny for Solskjaer. Is he a better option for a different manager that comes in? I don't know. But in that position, obviously, he has more trust in Fred. If Donny's in there, how do we know he doesn't do worse? Just because we prefer to see Donny playing there, because we feel there's a massive player in there, which I agree there is a massive player in there. It doesn't mean for a fact that there will be. And he won't be showing up that he isn't good enough in that position just yet.
There is no Joe, because he's proved that he can play in that position. He's played there for us before, and he's been good. I'm sorry, you can't sit there and say that you don't know that Donny van der Beek's a better technical player than Fred, because he is.
I never said technical. I never said technical. No, I didn't say. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Play that role
because first of all, I would say at that level, it's not about technicality. It's about breaking down play.
It is about technicality, because he couldn't pass a ball today.
But it's about.
I would say it comes down to what you think Fred's role is. I'm not trying to defend Fred. I would rather get an upgrade on that. Absolutely. Maybe Donny is that upgrade. Maybe it'll come soon.
That if Donny came on for Fred today, it wouldn't have improved us.
Well, we won the game, didn't we?
Yeah, but we could have gone any other way. If De Gea makes that, doesn't make that save, then we could draw the game.
But he did make the game.
The amount of times Adama Traore just shoved Fred basically on the
But you want but don't forget, okay? Why was ask yourself why?
Joe, let Bet speak. I'll come back to you. Let Bet speak.
Sorry.
Luke Shaw had to foul because of him. He was terrible then first half an hour. Even Rio Ferdinand, that never bashes players, went on Twitter and said, how bad he was. And you can't sit there and say, I don't know if Donny would have played that role better, because the fact is he would have played it better.
But we don't know that
Yes,
is a fact.
we do.
No, we don't. Because you know
Let
what?
her finish, Joe. Joe, let her finish. Let her finish.
We do
Beth,
know, though. We do know that Donny would have played that better, because we've seen him play that role in pre-season, and we can see that he's better at passing than Fred. Fred couldn't make a tackle. That's what he's in there to do, to be a CDM. So what is he actually doing? Just getting shoved off the ball and doing absolutely nothing. Donny could have come in and kicked the ball once and passed it right, and it would have been better than what Fred was doing in there. Even if Donny's not a CDM, Fred was getting shoved off the ball every single time anyway, so it wouldn't have made a difference. It at least would have improved our passing going forward. I have actually defended Fred in the past, but today he was awful, and I thought he nearly cost us the game. I really did.
Okay, good.
Guys, I opened up the show and I said that essentially, from my view of it, we started a game with 9 men by virtue of Dan James starting. It was putting a Mini Cooper up against a tank, and then we had Fred in midfield getting outrun the exact same way we did last week. Joe, you are quite entitled to your opinion, and I'll back everyone to have their opinion in the show, and you fight for your opinion, and rightly so. I don't agree with you, by the way, but that's your opinion. That's totally fine. I don't agree with you. That's totally fine. But today, guys, like for me, the obvious substitution today for me was you take Fred off at half time. He's getting overrun. He hasn't shown you anything different from last week, Joe. And you bring on Donny, and you see what Donny can do. He can't do any worse than Fred. And I agree with Beth's point. If David De Gea doesn't pull off that double save, and David also pulled off a save, actually, and I have it here. I'm going to go back just second minute. De Gea save a counter attack after Fred lost Traore.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So he lost Adama Traore time and time again. Surely you're sitting there as a manager thinking, okay, this guy is not at the races. I got to do something here. Surely that logic would tell you that.
I completely agree with you that Fred should have been taken off. Okay, and I'm not trying to make the argument that Donny is not a potentially a very, very good player. Okay, all I'm saying is that in that role that Fred is playing, which is the break-up play, which he wasn't doing well today, which I've said on numerous occasions. All right, maybe Donny isn't the best person to break up play. That's what I'm saying.
And that's fair.
And then the point I would make is Matic should have come on. Because you know what Matic does really well? Matic breaks up play really well. Okay? So if you go past, and he passes really well. All right? I don't know what Donny is like on the training field. But obviously, he's not instilling any confidence in the Solskjaer that when Fred, who we all know, because there's no one in the Man Utd camp, whether fans or whether on that pitch, that's a huge confidence in Fred. And if they do, there was something wrong with them. I have no confidence in Fred.
I can totally agree, Joe. I can totally agree with that.
You get where I'm coming from, Kev.
No. Listen, if today you're going to say, if you'd have started Matic over Fred, wouldn't have batted an eyelid at it.
Exactly.
But the big thing was last week at Southampton, and that's a lot of things that United fans are struggling to understand, is why you go with Matic and Fred against Southampton.
The only thing, I'm trying to say this, okay? I'm really, really not in an anti-Donny camp, okay? I'm not in an any Man Utd player camp. I have been really harsh about Martial. I was on Twitter right after the game. I thought he was fantastic when he came on as a sub. Not world class, but he played really, really well, okay? I want Donny to succeed. I really want him to succeed, okay? But I'm not going to come on here and say, I don't know why Donny isn't. I don't want to just put up that argument saying, why isn't he playing? I don't know. My argument is maybe it's him. Maybe he isn't showing Solskjaer enough. Okay, and that is the argument I'm trying to make.
Hindsight's a wonderful
And Joe, listen, that's okay.
Pogba
and you've been heard.
Pogba and Van der Beek would have got literally overrun. So,
Alex, I'll come to you next. The comment here from Mr. Dane Johnson. He says, you can play Fred McTominay, Van der Beek or Matic in a DM duo. That's not the issue. The issue is that Pogba can't play a DM duo with any of the above. If you play Pogba, it has to be as a winger, not a CM. Alex, what do you think?
That is kind of becoming an issue, I think. If you have a DM as world-class as Kante is, then it's easily possible because you cover up his shortcomings. But I feel like in this game, Van der Beek would have been better than Fred. But if you were to say that before the game, we wouldn't have said that because I think Van der Beek and Pogba would have got overrun as well. but it's just that Van der Beek actually has the ability on the ball that Fred doesn't have. And it's the same way, like me and you have said how many times now that we want to see Matic and Van der Beek together. Yeah, because they actually have. You need like with a midfield partnership, you need synergy as well. So you need people that complement each other. And I feel like every time we've seen, they have kind of been dead rubber games. But when we've seen Matic and Van der Beek together, they have actually played really well together. And then likewise, Pogba has been better when he's been further forward. So then now you come to the conundrum, especially now you have Cavani and a certain CR7 coming into this team. And with Mason Greenwood's form, you can't drop Greenwood. I said before that I had a tweet like last season. I said, when Sancho comes into this team, it isn't Greenwood getting dropped. And
dramatic pause.
Alex has gone to Antarctica. Okay, there's a super chat here, guys, from Lionel Tan. And Joe, I'll give you the right to respond. Okay. Lionel Tan says, kick Joe out, delusional to the max. We already are so lucky to win this game. This is the kind of people that will say, bring Henderson and bench De Gea. Joe, do you want to respond to that?
No, absolutely. And Jay, like you said to me, I thank you. As you said, I have my opinions. You don't have to agree with them, but at the end of the day, I'm here because I love this club and I want every player to succeed. And all I can say is what I truly believe. And thank you so much for giving your thoughts on the super chat. I don't want to bench. If you're going to say the type of people who want to bench De Gea, absolutely, De Gea is in wonderful form. I wouldn't want to bench him. I also wouldn't say write off Henderson because, as Kev said, he'll get FA Cup games, he gets League Cup games. He plays well in them. Then he's every right to be in the fight to be in the first team. And that's what we want. We want good players in each position to fight for that first position. So I have no problem. And if, guys, you disagree with me all you want, please absolutely voice your frustration, voice your passions, get them in the chat, get your thoughts in. I'm only here to say my views as everyone else is here. You tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. I can only say what I believe, what I truly believe, and that's what I do.
We all have different opinions, and that's good. That's the beauty of it, guys. It'd be boring. So people are going to agree and disagree, and just because me and Joe disagree doesn't mean we're going to go off and be like, Joe, I hate you. I love Joe.
Look, if we all agree with each other, it'd be absolutely shy crack here. Ultimate banter. Yeah,
Kevin, I'll come to you next. The super chat here from K Flow from America. Guys and lady, well, her name is Beth. I'm Jay. Alex is here. Kev is here, and Joe is here. So we have names, okay? I'm worried about chances. Cavani was on for 40 odd minutes, and not a single chance created for him. CR7 will be frustrated. Actually, on that point, Mason Greenwood went down the right wing. Cavani's in the box, and something, Alex, and you're a massive Mason Greenwood fan, that we have pointed out in Greenwood's game. He holds the ball for too long and doesn't see the simple cross. If simple cross there for Cavani, and who knows, Cavani could have scored it easily. But Kevin, to the point there about chance creation, Wolves have had 20 chances per game on average since the first game of the season. I don't know how many we've had, but it sure as hell isn't 20 chances per game. So going forward, Kevin, chance creation for Ronaldo. We've got the GOAT, now best centre forward in the world, I'd argue, in the box. Where do you see us creating chances from going forward? Because we're not doing it at the moment.
We aren't, and do you know what? It is a little bit of a worry. But I would like to think that once Ronaldo walks back into that team, he's almost like, the man with the baton, the conductor of the orchestra. He turns around and says to these players, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. They don't even need to say it anyway. He literally walks in to that team, and they're just going to have to adapt to him and work to his strengths. What I would say in defence of the likes of Greenwood, I know he was up top today, but he has been played out on the right, the left. We've had Rashford, we've had Martial. These are all players that consider themselves or want to be put forward as a number 9. But a lot of us are like, are they good enough to be a number 9? I think Greenwood will be one day, but you just have to give him that time, to flourish, to get into that role. It's a really difficult role. I never see Martial as being a number 9 at United. I see him as being, coming in out off the left and all that. But listen, we all know that the great Manchester United teams down the years have been built on pace and width. And we have been starved of that for years. We haven't got a Giggs or Beckham. somebody with great delivery from the left and right that can put balls in to the likes of Cole, York, Van Nistelrooy, whoever it is. So at the minute we're going through this thing, but you would like to think that Jadon Sancho coming in surely adds something that we've not had since Cristiano Ronaldo at United on the right-hand side. And then if we can get it sorted on the left-hand side, we have to start creating chances. And it all comes down to training as well, doesn't it? You have to look at it and go, you work to your strengths. Ronaldo walks into that team now. United have not brought Ronaldo back on 480 grand a week or whatever to go, hey, you're going to be sat on the bench this week, son, next to Phil Jones. Not happening.
No.
Yeah, fair point.
Phil Jones is getting on the bench.
Alex, I'll come to you next about Mason Greenwood, because I know you're a massive Mason Greenwood fan, but I want to get through some super chats first. Acid Burrito for $20. Donny has to leave. He's class, but Ollie doesn't think he fits a holding role. And Pogba and Bruno have played in 90 minutes until now. As for Fred, he would play until we get a proper CDM, and then sorry, Fred. Another one here from Shahi Shetty. We won't be getting away with these sort of displays forever. I agree. The tempo needs to be higher at the beginning of games. We cannot let a win elude this. So obviously tempo is a massive issue. It's been an issue under the entire tenure of Solskjaer. Vishen Ram here from $10 from the States. Hello, everybody. We've got the win, but this was horrendous performance. We are gassed about Ronaldo, but who's giving him the chances? As we said there, Kevin, we are dead in midfield regardless, happy with the 3 points. Okay, it's a fair point. Duncan for £5. Neves is everything Fred isn't. I agree. So composed and positionally excellent. This classy stuff is overrated, and it just makes the whole team nervous. Okay, it's a fair point. And I've done the Donny one. There's one here from Canada. Varane just gives a calm influence at the back. Wan-Bissaka was much better and played less sporadic. On that point, second half, just as Wan-Bissaka got a little bit of a handle on Traore shifted from the right over to the left, and then Shaw had to deal with him, because I think for the first half an hour, he was getting a lot of change out of Wan-Bissaka. Second half, he switched over and he was on Shaw. I think Shaw dealt with him very well personally. And a lot of fans have slagged up Shaw. Shaw isn't fast and a big good work rate. That's horseshit. Because I'm not saying that Shaw had Traore in his back pocket. He certainly didn't. But I think when Traore caught us on a fast break, Shaw matched him for pace, which I was very, very impressed with. Alex, do you want the final point there on Mason Greenwood? Basically today, Mason, he won the game, but he should have passed the ball to Cavani when Cavani was unmarked.
He should have, but we've now signed a certain other player that was doing the same sort of greediness at 19 years old. So it isn't something I'm gonna. It isn't something. Don't get me wrong. I'm Greenwood.
That's a great reply, Alex. That's a great reply. To be fair, that is fantastic.
I'm his number one fan, and I was pissed off when he did it. But when you're like that elite of a player, and let's be fair, he's our most informed goal scoring player at the moment, and we want, when you're that good of a player, you're always going to have the arrogance and the greediness, and he's now coming in with Ronaldo, who was exactly the same way at that age. So don't get me wrong, it really annoyed me, and that was something in his first season, his like first proper season, that he did have an issue with. But then as last season, he didn't have the best goal scoring season, but he did start to work on that more creativity side of his game. And like, people always go on about this like Saka versus Greenwood debate, and Saka's like such an amazing creator. Apparently, Greenwood created just as many big chances last season as Saka did in less minutes. So it just shows it is something that he's really working on. We saw the thing as well, a similar situation to that last season. I can't remember the game. You guys probably remember better than me. That one game where he was greedy in one moment, and then Cavani went to him, told him in that situation, if you get that again, do this, whatever it was. And then the next time it happened in the same game, Greenwood hit it first time, Cavani goal, bang. So don't get me wrong, he should have had better decision making in that moment, but he's just absolutely class. And like I said, as the season progresses, the only reason that if Sancho, Rashford, anyone is going to keep him out of the team is going to be because of politics or whatever, because of price. If everyone's on a level playing field and backstage politics, because of transfer fees and everything doesn't come into play, Mason will stay in this team because he's absolutely class, and literally the world is at his feet.
Well, on Mason Greenwood, it came out in the stats on Sky Sports. Second teenager to score 3 goals in 3 games since Robbie Fowler 25 years ago. I know Fowler was a Scouser, but not a bad centre forward, to be fair.
And playing as a centre forward, and Mason's on the wing as well. Like all the people that
precisely.
Owen, Rooney, Fowler, all 3 of them are the only ones that are ahead of him. Okay, Rooney didn't permanently play as a forward as a teenager, but apart from Rooney, and come on, Rooney's probably the best teenager in Premier League history alongside Michael Owen. But Michael Owen was a striker, so the fact that Mason's played that many games on the wing and is up there with those legendary Premier League icon names, it should say something.
That's a great point, Alex. Actually, fantastic point. Yeah,
Beth, I'll come to you next. Super chat here from Mr. Holland. Great name. Beyond chill. Wolves a good team, strong midfield, and we're not. A win is a win. It was a better game for Wolves and a bad game for Man U. Well, to be fair to that comment, had David De Gea not got us out of jail again this week, we'd be having a different conversation entirely today. We'd be here bemoaning a scoreless draw. Yet another scoreless draw. So, Beth, your take today on David De Gea. I don't know if he got man of the match. I hope he did because he deserved it. So your take today on David. He did. Excellent.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows I'm a Henderson fan, and I was a Henderson fan, and
that's why I asked you.
Get out.
That's why I asked you.
No, I'm starting my point. And everyone knows, like, even though I am a Henderson fan, it doesn't mean I don't dislike David De Gea. I think David De Gea is a great goalkeeper. I just had a few issues with his game sometimes. But you know what? Today, none of them issues arised. I thought it was commanding. He came off his line. His shot stopping was absolutely out of this world. Like I think Jamie Carragher said at the time, even though I hate it when he commentates on our football games, he was saying that's like David De Gea from the past, the David De Gea that we know. And honestly, since the season has started this season, I think it was Alex that said it before, he really has taken his chance. He's not made a single mistake. He's played exceptionally well. He wasn't expected to make that second save today. He did. So he's playing on top of his game. And honestly, even though I am a Henderson fan and I was calling for him to be number 1, at the moment, De Gea does have to stay at number 1 purely off his performances. I'm a fair person. You can't drop someone that is playing that well. And I think he played really well. He got us out of jail last week and he got us out of jail this week. And that's the David De Gea I want to see. The David De Gea that even at the end of the game he's going over like, yes, come on. Like I want my goalkeeper to be really encouraging the team, really vocal, coming off his line, being aggressive. And to be fair, I actually did see that of David today, and I thought he's been playing really well this season, and he deserves man of the match today. He really did.
Did you see as well? Look at just to add on to that point right at the very end of Bruno going up to the cameras with De Gea around his arm, being like man of the match, going up to the cameras. So it shows the players do really rate him as well.
Yeah, true. Beth, I asked you deliberately about the comment on David De Gea because I know you rate Henderson highly, and I wasn't trying to curveball, but I knew you give a fair analysis on De Gea because you aren't biased, so that's why I asked you deliberately. Comment here from Roy Bear: Fred bang average, be great for West Ham, but no talent for United. Donny does a better job. Have to be deluded to think otherwise. Okay. What else have we got here? We have one here from Wayne List. The thing is, it's not a bad performance for United. It's what has come to be expected. Fair enough. We get performance like this. That high tempo, crisp passing, Ole out. Okay, he's still Ole out. Even with Ronnie in, that's interesting. And we have one here. I'm up to date now. Kevin, back to you. Here we are now. We got 7 points out of 9. We are on the cusp of international break. I think for me, the real season starts on September the 11th, that ill-fated day. That is when our season starts. Newcastle away, the GOAT, the King, last dance, whatever you want to talk about it. That's when the season starts for me.
Oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait for it, mate. Listen, I know we've not really even touched much on Ronaldo and this signing and what it means to Manchester United. It's just been very... I don't know. Listen, I'm living in Manchester. The 24 hours that span, right? I've got Man City fans texting me. I'm working on site.
You're friends with Man City fans.
Well, kind of. But listen,
they have your number anyway.
On what was it? Friday morning, right? I'm on a site and I've got lads going, City fans coming up to me. Kev, what do you make of Ronaldo? So I'm like, fuck Ronaldo, fucking and then within about 4 hours, it's like obviously spun round. My mate rings me and I'm driving at the time and he's like, have you heard the news? And I went, what? So he went, Ronaldo. And I went, oh, so he's signed for City, as in? He went, no, he's got to United. So I'm literally shaking. I went, don't do this to me, Lee. I went, are you sure? And he went, the news has just broke now. City are out of the running. United, he's going to United. And I was like, listen, mate, I said, if this is a wind-up, I'm going to literally crash and die now. Don't do it to me. And it sort of happened. And then later on that night, then the same City fan that said to me that in the morning when he was like, what do you think of Ronaldo and all that? And I said, fuck Ronaldo, no bad or whatever. He texted me then because he was a City fan, obviously, and just texted me and went, fuck Ronaldo. So I was like, yeah, I can understand how that works, but it's absolutely huge. I cannot honestly. It's so emotional. It's the fact of the age. It doesn't get in the way. It doesn't bother me. It does not bother me. It's the only transfer that you would look at and think, if anyone you could bring back, it's like, yes, this happens. And let's not forget, he did it for Portugal in the Euros.
Yeah.
In an under-strength Portugal team, he still stood out, still carried them. So if anything, he comes to Manchester United now, and I just think we have to look at this and think other players in this squad are just going to be in awe of this man. A bit like when Eric Cantona come to Manchester United, training-wise, on the pitch, stays behind, model professional, and these other players, younger players, will look and be inspired. Exactly the same way of Eddie Cavani. The way that Greenwood and that will look at him and go, I want to learn from him. He's been there and done it. Sorry to talk so much shy anyway.
No, I think you summed it very well there in 2 words. In 2 words, you summed it very well. Look and be inspired. And how the very fact that, as I said previously in the show, Pogba today referred to Ronaldo as a legend coming back. And that's from a World Cup winner. So imagine young lads, how they're going to look up to Ronaldo. It's phenomenal. Yeah. This for us is a game changer. Like Michael Jordan came back to the Chicago Bulls in 1998 after spending a year playing minor league baseball. And the Bulls won their 3rd NBA title in a row. Now, I know, Beth, at the start of the season, you said you predicted us to win the title. If we start out that midfield, it's not beyond the realms of possibility because we have a game changer starting for us on September the 11th. I'm going to read some super chats here, and then I think we might do some player ratings after today. It'd be interesting to do some. And of course, I'm scrolling here trying to find super chats. Okay, here we are. Stephen Caverty for €5. Sounds like an Irish name. Hi, Stephen. Give Ronaldo the number 17 shirt. Why 17? The chats are... Okay, I've lost the hit. Sorry, I'll go back. My apologies. Stephen. Guys, it's a dinger. Give Ronaldo the number 17 shirt and terminate Fred's contract. Okay. Wayne List. Every show is a repeat of questioning all his strange decisions. We are here. Words like absurd. I don't understand why he's done that. Disgrace every show. Okay, Wayne, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the chat. And there is one here from Ice Cube, spelled with a Q. We will win the lot if we had a DM and a top coach. Okay, fair enough. And we have another one here from Stockton Ferrero. I've seen Fred have bad games, but I've never seen him manhandled and exposed like today. Rival teams will be watching this game and how to undo us. Alex and I did a show on Instagram on Friday night, and we discussed how Troy Deeney, Watford, and the Watford were saying just literally let Fred have the ball, let him have space. He ain't going to do anything with it. And that's come from Watford. So imagine the likes of a Liverpool or a Man City, and they're going to play against Fred. They're licking their lips. So guys, I think we want to move on now. We've got 6 minutes, so we have ample time to do an in-depth player ratings. a man of the match. So, Beth, I'll go to you first. My man, David De Gea, out of 10.
Go on, Beth, you're muted, man.
She's speechless here.
She's speechless, yeah.
Weird.
There we go.
And you're back in the room. She's back.
It's hard not to give him a 10 because I don't really think he put a foot wrong, but I never give people 10. So I'm gonna give him a 9. I'm gonna give him a 9. And one thing I wanted to add to the Ronaldo thing is when he comes, he's gonna add to every single player is going to step it up 10, 20% because it's Ronaldo. You don't even have time to lack in training. Yeah. He's going to be looking at you like, why aren't you doing that extra run? Why aren't you doing that? So I do think he's going to bring the best out of the whole team. But yeah, I'd go with David. I'd go with a 9.
Fair enough. Are we all agreeing all around 9s?
Yeah.
Or anybody can say any dissension?
Literally, the only goal for a goalkeeper is to not concede goals. If you don't concede a goal and you do an amazing save, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. So it's small margins here, but that's all right.
It is a 10, but I just never give 10s. So
I know.
Okay. even Bruno against Leeds, he got 10 against Leeds with a hat trick. Surely that was a 10 performance.
Did he get 10 then? Maybe he did.
He did for me. Even for me, got 10. So we move on, guys. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, first half shaky enough against the Tank Traore. Second half came into his own, as you guys pointed out. He did look more sure the last half hour, but I think Varane was definitely having a word in his ear. Kevin, Aaron Wan-Bissaka out of 10 today.
6.
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
Anyone going to disagree?
Yeah,
Anyone want to give it or what?
I'd say 7 just for clearing off the line in the first half. I give him that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's the best he's played this season.
Oh,
okay.
That's not saying much, but
Joe, Mr. Varane, debut.
Yes, I could give him $1 million if I could, but
he's a guy now. You know, he's a guy. Yeah, he's getting very emotional there. He's a guy. Yeah.
We are football fans. We live on emotion, okay? We're literally, I guarantee you, Cristiano Ronaldo has made us all cry at one point in our life. Varane I'm going to give him a 9, just considering we don't really have much to talk about just because of his mind, how he made stuff happen before it even happened for us. And then when he needed to be called upon, like when Harry Maguire was nutmegged, he made it happen. So I'll give him a 9. I think exceptional debut. And the fact that no one's really talking about it is how good he was.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, I was going to give it an 8, but I'll be happy with a 9. I thought he was the best outfield player comfortably. I thought it was a brilliant debut, and I hope it's a good sign of things to come.
Kev?
I'm going with an 8 because I can't agree with Joe. Just on
just on principle.
And Beth?
I was going to go with an 8.5, so I'll settle for a 9.
We don't do 0.5.
Thank you, Beth. That's what she said for a 9.
We'll go for a 9 then, just for Joe.
Yes, just for.
I'm going to go on Nath, and Beth, I'll stay with you. Harry Maguire today.
7 for me. 7.5. To be fair though, I honestly thought the only bit of his game that lacked was sometimes I was unsure if he was going to reach the ball in time, like for his pace in certain areas. But I thought he did pretty well. I thought he cleared the ball well. I'd give him a 7. I think it was a pretty good performance. It wasn't the best.
I agree on 7.
Yeah. I don't think he brought the ball out as well as he usually does, but I'd give him a 7.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah. 7, yeah.
Are we all saying 7? 7?
Yeah. The nutmeg was the only bad thing, but apart from that, yeah, he was good.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Joe said 7, so I'll go with 6.
I love it. I'm enjoying the needle here. So, Mr. Shaw, left back today. I thought a solid 7 for me. I think he dealt with Traore, as I said previously, very well in the second half. Solid 7.
7.
All agreed?
Yeah.
Joe?
All agreed.
Yeah. I say 6.
Before,
a 7, but a lower 7 than Maguire.
Yeah.
Before I go to the next player, I got a super chat from Mike Shelley. Mike says, lads, Fred is not even the first cousin of a footballer, let alone a Man United midfielder. So Fred today, guys, out of 10. Joe, we'll start with you since you love Fred.
That's a low blow. I give him a 3. That's a generous 3. Okay.
You give him a 3, yeah? A 3.
Yeah, generous.
Not building a 3. You give him a 3. A 3 or a 3?
Okay, I'll give him a 3 with the number 3 written on it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Kev, is he getting a 2 from you then, is he?
He's getting a fucking punch in the face, man. That's what he's getting from me. Never mind.
The hard man on the red wine, huh?
A 4 I'm giving him.
4.
And that's being
But hang on a second.
generous.
But hang on a second, man. If Joe gave him a 3. Surely you can't give him a 4.
Yeah, because I can't agree with Joe, can I? So I have to go.
Okay,
I can't
fair
give him
enough.
a 2.
Okay.
He can go up or down as long as it's not on me.
Exactly.
No,
He ran about. He did this, that. He did bits, as you would say, Jay. Did bits.
Okay. Beth, Mr. Fred.
I'd give him a 1. Not gonna lie. The thing is though, I'm not a Fred hater, unlike some people. Like, I do think he can be useful, but today he was dreadful. He was dreadful.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't see anything he did that was right. Do you guys not? He nearly cost
Had a
us
shot on
goals.
target.
He was like the new Phil Jones, where he's crawling on the floor, running after Adama Traore. It's like, I thought he was terrible. I really did. I thought he should have been pulled at half time, even before that. Even I thought he was bad. Sorry.
Okay, that's fair. No, never apologize. It's your opinion. Alex.
I'll give him a 3 as well. I think to get like a 1 or something, you need to be sent off or score an own goal or something. Don't get me wrong. He was diabolical in every counter attack they had in the first half. Seems to just come directly from him. So yeah, 3.
Well, then the only number that's left then for me to pick is 2, because you've all picked everything else. So I'm going to go to 2. One here, guys. Wayne List says, "I'm not criticizing you. I just mean every week we point out all his obvious flaws, but never actually say he should go, despite giving reasons why he must." Well, I think we all agreed that start of the season we give Ole a clean slate.
Yeah.
And I said last week after Southampton the slate was obliterated, and had Mason Greenwood not saved us today, the slate would be cracked in 1,000 pieces. So it's. But then of course on Friday everything changed. When I got Ronaldo back. So there you are. So move on now to the conductor, Mr. Pogba. Poor first half, excellent second half. I'm going to go with an 8. Beth?
Can't disagree with that. Yeah.
I'm going to.
We all agreed?
I'd say a 7 just so Kev doesn't have it.
I'm giving a 7 because I thought Varane was better than him, and I gave Varane an 8.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's fair. So moving out to the wing, start saying left wing, Mr. Sancho. I just give him a 6.
6.
Took this to go against Wolves. I'd say a 6.
Yeah, 6.
I said 5.
Well, I think
So-
he looked after the ball well.
Okay. You just used the phrase now that our colleague uses that I hate, looked after the ball well.
No, not in that respect. In respect, like
Okay.
away constantly, he did pass the ball well.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, you're okay. Okay, that's fair. So, Bruno, I thought gets very animated chatting to referees, and referees now are going to look for that going forward, and he could pick up a lot of bookings. You can see Bruno, when things are not going well, he's always in a ref's face. I think refs won't stand for that. So today, Bruno, I'm going to go with. So I love Bruno. I think today 6. I can't give him more than that today, and I love Bruno.
That second game in a row, isn't it, for Descent, or was the other one Leeds?
Yeah.
He's been booked twice.
Yeah.
Both his yellow
Very
cards for
recently.
Descent.
So are we all saying 6 then for Bruno? Is that
I'm actually
solid?
going to
Yeah,
say 5.
6.
I'm going to say
I
5.
was
You can't
thinking
just say,
5
Jay,
or 6.
can you?
I thought he gave the ball away a
because you
lot
look-
unnecessarily.
Yeah.
A lot.
Sorry, Kev.
And he couldn't.
No, I was just going to
I
say,
was
you
going-
can't just say, "Oh, I love him." You know, I'll give him. We have to base it off this game today.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That's fair.
there's mates of mine that at the goal and whatever. You know, if they're being stupid, I can't rate them and go, "Well, I love you, mate," but you know, I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, that's a fair point. Oh, that's a fair point. So Mason today, Alex, you go first. Your Mason's your favorite player.
I'll give him a 7 overall. He scored the winning goal, but I feel like there were other players that were better. But I feel like overall he's been brilliant this season, and long may it continue. He's like
Are we all
ahead of his
agreed?
age group.
Solid 7.
Yeah.
7. Then briefly, Marcel, when he came on, I thought solid 6. He held the ball up well.
Yeah, Martial
Are we
was great.
agreed, Marcel?
I'd say,
Solid
yeah.
6.
I
I thought
give
it
him
was
a
his
7,
best
honestly.
performance.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, he looked like someone with a bit of confidence, and he didn't have a lot of time to do anything, but what he did, I was really happy with, so I'd give him a 7.
And Mr. Cavani today got no service, divided service. As we pointed out, had Mason given us the simple side route pass.
Yeah.
Could have got a shot off. So for me, I'm going to go over 6 for Cavani today.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Are we all agreed on that?
Yeah.
And finally, Mr. Solskjaer, he got away with one today, guys. I think he did. I'm going to go with a 6. Oh, sorry. Did he play today? Oh, forgive me. Did he actually play? Oh, silly me. How could I overlook the future Ballon d'Or winner? That's Dan James. Beth,
Jay, I don't know if I'm being cynical here, but I think you're being sarcastic there. I don't want to talk on the line, but
me.
The star
You're
of
not a stunt double anymore after that. Okay, Joe, Dan James, out of 10 today.
I'm going to give him, he was given a kind of thankless job of running. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10.
Beth?
Kev?
I'll give him a 6 because I don't think Sancho was much better than him, to be honest. I thought they were very similar, and I think it would be it would be a little bit generous for me to give him lower, so I'm going to give him a 6.
Fair.
Kevin, I think you pulled there, by the way.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5 because I gave Sancho a 5 as well, so yeah, both 5.
And finally, Kevin?
I don't even know what we're talking about. There was a dog.
Please tell me you know who that dog is.
We're talking about Dan James.
Yeah, he's great, wasn't he? Man of the match.
Yeah, amazing.
Dan James, 5.
Yeah, I'm going with 5. I can only think that Solskjaer played to put him in the shop window. I don't think there'll be many buyers after the performance today. And finally, guys, very briefly, because we're going over time, Solskjaer, you got away with one today. 1-0 away.
5. I have to agree on a 5. Listen, you have to look at, we talk about in-game tactics. If that's what you're judging Solskjaer on, and being able to react to the way that the game's going at the stage of half an hour in, I'm looking at half an hour in and thinking, fuck, we're not breaking these down. If anything, Wolves are going to score against us. No changes. Waits until into the second half. So for me, I would say 5.
Okay, I'm Joe. Finally, last
6,
word.
Just for Kev. 6 out of 10. Just for Kev.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching tonight. We've gone over time. Obviously, there was some great debates going on between Joe and Beth, and we encourage debate in the show because, as the guys pointed out, if we all agreed on every topic, it'd be a boring show.
And I want to say there is very few people I would like to debate more than Beth. She's an exceptional mind when it comes to football, Man Utd, along with everyone on this group chat. So it's a pleasure to chat Man Utd with all these people. So if a debate's coming up, it's coming from the right place, and it's well thought out by me.
Of course. And guys, listen. Thanks for super chats. Thanks to everyone in the comments. We do look at them. Obviously, as ever, guys, like, share, and subscribe. And we shall see you all shortly on another show. Good night, guys. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, man.